Who is Pyrrho of Elis? Pyrrho of Elis, 272 to 360 BC, is a Greek philosopher from Elis and the founder of the school of doubt in ancient Greece. He went through his youth in Portray and went through the rest of his life in philosophy. He to begin with studied the works of Democritus and was an understudy of Anaxagoras for a whereas. He was present in the conquest of India by Alexander and met with philosophers from the Indus region. When he returned to Greece, he was baffled by the articulations of stubborn masterminds who claimed to possess the truth and turned to an unused school which accepted that no conviction can have a clear defense and solid bolster. Subsequently, he contended that it is outlandish to reach the truth. He was searching for ataraxia, which implies no pitying peace of intellect, and in a range to attain it, he suggested a strategy called apoke or renunciation of judgment, which afterward got to be one of the standards of the Stoic school. He was so tireless in his conclusion in vulnerability that it is said that his companions continuously observed over him so that in case a cart came towards him or a pit showed up on his way, they would spare him from getting harmed since he would not move. He went through a huge portion of his life in isolation, distant from fear, pity and joy. It is said that he did not appear any fear within the confront of sickness and threat. Pyrrho was moreover known for his class and sharp vision in philosophical talks. Indeed, in spite of the fact that Epicurus had no center ground with the doubtful schools, he continuously lauded Pyrrho, since Pyrrho's see of the truth included a kind of self-control that driven to a kind of peace in human presence. Peace which for Epicurus was the conclusion of all information and the objective of each ethical activity. Pyrrho was so regarded among his kinsmen that they honored him with the office of tall cleric and in his honor passed a law exempting logicians from paying charges. Pyrrho was an artist and particularly a fan of Homer. There are no follows cleared out of him, and what we know almost his contemplations is due to his understudy Timon of Philos. Within the extension of Pyrrho's thought, it ought to be said that his skepticism, not at all like the sophists, he did not expect theoretical interface, but his skepticism was a way to reach joy and overcome human enduring. Agreeing to him, substantial reasons can be displayed for and against any judgment, and he considered this administering to be genuine for all convictions. Not at all like Descartes and Husserl's skepticism, Pyrrho's question was not convenient and deliberate, but it was the establishment of his metaphysics. Agreeing to his supposition, the most genuine conviction that a human being can accomplish is question and skepticism, and nothing can be supreme and settled for a human being. Concurring to this rule, things ought to be cleared out as they are, and any comments other than question ought to be dodged in a range to reach peace, since each comment can be demonstrated or denied. For each claim, there can be a conflicting claim, with similarly great and solid reasons. Pyrrho considered the differences of conclusions approximately common issues, both among the common individuals and among the knowledge, to back his claim. All human activities and clashes were based on conclusions, whereas conclusions were nothing but figments. Subsequently, inaction was the most elevated perfect of a sage. Pyrrhonists connected this conviction indeed within the most standard ordinary circumstances, as they never said, "so it is," but instead used expressions such because, "it appears so," or, "it may be so." This instability in Hone brings a kind of calmness and pity that permitted Hakim to overcome his dreams. Since the wishes were the result of the conviction that something is prevalent to something else. He knew that all human distress and sufferings were established in an inclination that was inescapable from his point of view. In his eyes, all things might be the same as they were diverse. Concurring to Pyrrho, an astute man is liberated from misery by flexibility from certainty in favoring one thing over another. Pyrrho lived nearly 90, a long time. This long life may be a confirmation of his peace and carelessness. It is said that after his passing, they built a landmark in Athens and honored his memory.